Good morning, my listeners. I hope you are doing well and are ready for today's episode. Today I have for you very fresh new report from Lithuania, Lithuania's Business Services Report 2020. Today's episode will be a little different than the previous ones as I have the report in front of me and I will be going through it while today's show. So there may be some slowdowns and get ready for them. Let's begin. Very nice and transparent yellow report. Yellow? Yes, yellow is the main color of this 48 pages publication. From technical point of view, the report contains 3 main chapters including industry overview, survey findings and additional information. So let's go now through the following pages. From the very beginning we have intro which is presented by Laisvis Makulis, the Vice President of Invest Lithuania. I have met Laisvis, I think it was already 5, 6 or maybe even 7 years ago, and since then we are in contact, let's say, and exchange information about the GBS industry globally. Laisvis is definitely one of the best people in Lithuania to know and discuss the GBS, BPO and SSC related topics. So he created the intro to the whole report. Then when we go through the first page where we have any data presented, we can read about the survey. What survey? The Invest Lithuania agency has run a survey among 66 companies employing over 17,000 professionals who have given their answers to the survey. And the survey was, the main purpose of the survey was the analysis of the current state of the GBS industry in Lithuania. As we can see, those 66 companies are 81% of all centers in Lithuania, and the employment over 17,000 employees is reflecting 92% of the total labor force in the industry. Let's go through the next page. So, of course, in the beginning we have the description of Invest Lithuania, which is normal because it's good to read about the authors. I can tell you from my perspective, I will not be quoting this what is written in the report, but my experience with Invest Lithuania is that in Europe, I believe this is one of the best organized agencies I have met so far, and I have met some of them already. But okay, let's go through the main data which is included in this report. So the Gbs sector in Lithuania. In the report we can read that there are 81 number of investor companies with Gbs centers, that 240 is the average number of employees in a Gbs center, that 14% is average voluntary attrition rate in GBS centers. 19.3 thousand is the number of employees in GBS centers. 14% is the growth in GBS centers job year to year. And 11 is the number of Fortune 500 investors with Lithuanian GBS centers. There are also some additional information which are presenting, for example, Lithuania's top 5 advantages according to the GBS centers polled, but I will not be quoting them. I will encourage you to grab your own copy of this report and check it out, what those 5 points are. But let's go to the industry overview. So in here we can see that the last few years have witnessed an increasing inflow of investments from the US. And yes, those investments, when it comes to the what is yellow by the number of employees, shows us that 35% of all employment comes from the centers where the US is the main investor. Then the numbers go to the other countries, but I think what is important to underline in here is the connection between Lithuania and the Nordics, because the Nordics in total give 49% to all employment in the GBS centers, and the number of centers is 35%. So 1/3 of all presence of GBS sector in Lithuania is created by the Nordic investors. What I mean by Nordic? Nordic means that those are investors coming from Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Finland. And of course, the details about each of those countries, I mean by the number of percentage of the centers and the employees, is given in the report. Besides US and the Nordics, you can also find the data focused on UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, and the others who are present in Lithuania. Okay, so by the sector, let's see what do they have in the section by the sector. Okay, so it's written here that compared to previous years, the ICT sector experienced higher growth in terms of both centers and employees. And what are the numbers? Okay, so the numbers are by number of centers. 41% is currently the coverage by IT services, 32% by manufacturing, engineering and logistics, 19% by financial services and research, and 9% is for the others. But what is important, that 49% is the number which is reflecting the employees in financial services and research. So financial services and research have much bigger employment than any of the other industries, any of the other sectors which were analyzed in here. Okay, so if we are taking a look on the type of the business service centers, I can tell you here that 67 of them are captive, 11 are BPO and ITO, and 3 are hybrid. The next section in the report is showing the sector growth, and the data starts in 2012 and ends on the forecast for 2020. So the numbers are: in 2012 there were 5,500 employees employed in the BSS sector in Lithuania. Now the forecast for the end of 2020 is 21,000. This data given before, so 19,000 plus, was based on the data coming from the end of the 2019. So those are the number. Okie dokie. So let's go to the next pages. So here we have also data about the saturation, and the saturation rate in Lithuania's GBS sector remains healthy despite the sector's continued growth and increased maturity. People employed in business services center per 1,000 residents, here is also such data, show that in Kaunas this is 10%. In Vilnius it is 29.8. Okay, so then the location. So far Lithuania was very much oriented on Vilnius, and still Vilnius remains the main location for the GBS sector in Lithuania, but it's not the only one. Already in the previous years Kaunas has grown and was already visible as the location for GBSs. So now this is Vilnius, Kaunas, but those are not the only two. There is also Klaipėda, where already now three centers are located, and there is a new location, Panevėžys. In this city there is the first center located. So not one, not two, not three, but 4 locations are already presented on the Lithuanian's map and are open for the GBS investments. So on the next pages you can read the description of Vilnius and Kaunas. Those two cities are described here with also the key sectors present in those cities. Let's take a look on the Vilnius, for example. Yeah, in Vilnius we've got business services and ICT, biotechnology, fintech and high-tech manufacturing. But in Kaunas there is a slightly different, because here we've got automotive, business services and ICT, medtech and MRO. So here you can have all those details written. Then on the page, which page we are now? The page number 18 and 19 of the report shows the very short review of the GBS success stories. You can find here 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 examples of various investments presenting the GBS centers, who they are, like Danske Bank, for example, Western Union, Nasdaq, Moody's, Uber. Then what kind of functions do they run in Lithuania? What kind of languages do they use? How many people do they employ? And since when they are present in Lithuania? Let's take a look on one of them. Who would you like to listen to? Danske, Western Union, Telia, Festo. No, let's take this Nasdaq. So Nasdaq Center in Lithuania is based in Vilnius, was established in 2015, is employing currently 340 FTEs. People who work there, they speak and operate their clients in Danish, English, Finnish, French, German and Swedish. And what kind of functions do they have? IT, F&A, cybersecurity, big data, analytics and customer operations. So this was just an example, but you can read those 8 examples, those 8 success stories in this report. Let's go to the survey findings. Okay, I love data. So here they are. Markets covered. Yeah, so this is showing us a map which is presented on the 22nd and 23rd page of the report, how the world is being served from the Lithuania based operation centers. So we can see here that regions that are served by GBS centers in Lithuania. Europe, in 97% of the centers support services for Europe, 58 for North America, 33 for Asia, 21 for Australia, 24 for Africa, and 20 for South America. 39% of the centers who are located in Lithuania serve 3 or more regions, which is nice data. Okay, so in here you also have top 10 European countries which are served from Lithuania, and here are the first 3 I will tell you: Sweden, Germany and UK, and the rest you can find in the report. 35% serve 10 or more countries. That's a significant number. Okay, let's move forward. Languages used. This is already the section 9 in chapter 2, and in here we can find out that 35 is the largest number of languages used in a single center. This is similar to Poland. In Poland this is also very close to 40. 80% of young Lithuanians can speak English, which is, I would say, normal for today in Europe. 52% of Lithuanians are fluent in at least 2 foreign languages, which is already a very, very nice number. But what are the other languages being used in the operation activities of the centers located in Lithuania? Oh, there is quite a long list for them, but I will again give you the first 3. English, 100%. German, 36% of the centers. Swedish, 29% of all the centers. And okay, I am Polish, so let's look for Polish. Polish is 20%. Sorry, excuse me. So then we have another section of the report, which is functions performed. So in here we can see that 94% of centers are multifunctional, performing 2 or more functions. Whoa, that's a nice number. But if we take a look on the share of employees by function performed, here we can find out that IT is 28%, customer service is 26%, and finance and accounting is 13. The other numbers given in here are also for compliance and MAL, KYC, engineering, HR, procurement, sales and marketing, support, and the others. So including legal, for example, or data science or research. So this you can also find in this report. Then we go to the share of centers performing each of the following functions, and those following are IT, F&A, CO, Global HR, BFSI, and the others. 94% of services are exported, and 17% of centers provide 24/7 operations, so work all day long. Okay. So all the sections which I just mentioned, IT, F&A, CO, and the others, they are divided on certain functions. And I will grab for you the F&A, for example. F&A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas, which are starting with artificial intelligence. No, sorry, this one was for IT. Accounts payables, accounts receivables, general ledger and reporting, master data management, travel and exposures, business controlling, treasury, and audit. So we can see here that accounts payables and accounts receivable is 45% of all F&A functions run by the centers located in Lithuania. Audit is, for example, 6%. So all this is in a very nice, colorful graph, and you can get all data you need in here. Okay, let's go then to the next section. What do we have here? We have here, for example, programming languages, and this is also listed in here. So share by centers by programming languages used. Says that SQL is present in 44% of the centers, Java in 36, JavaScript in 33, and for example Swift in 9. Yeah, so all this you can find in here, and also a short comment coming from people representing the operation centers located in Lithuania. And this one, programming languages, is commented by, for example, Marius Ivanauskas, head of Group Global Services at Telia company. The similar approach is here for the AML, KYC compliance, engineering SCM, intelligent process automation, NNI, and some others. Okay, so let's see some other interesting data, and this tells us that 39% of Gbs centers have implemented or are developing IPA solutions, and 96% of Gbs centers is using IPA. One more time, 96% of Gbs centers using IPA are developing their solution in-house, so not outsourced but in-house. Okay, so then the next section, attrition rate. Oh yeah, this is important for the Gbs centers. So attrition rate 30 is the average age of employees in Gbs centers, and 14% is average voluntary attrition. Lithuania's constantly growing Gbs industry has managed to keep attrition rates relatively low. This is the first sentence which opens this section, and yes, keeping it on 14%, wow, this is impressive. If we take a look on the some additional percentages, so for example, share of centers by attrition rate, we can see that below 5% is 25% of the centers. Whoa, 25 below 5% attrition rate. Another 25 is between 6 to 10, and then the other numbers reflect the other rate of the attrition. Above 21% are 15% of all of the centers. Then the section of the benefits. Oh, there are 8 of them, so I can read them to you. Share of centers by benefits provided. 85% private health insurance medical package, 68% sports and entertainment, 62% subsidizing studies or other professional courses, 61% subsidizing language training, 30% life insurance, 23% private pension schemes, 12% preferential share purchase options, and 3% child infant care subsidies kindergarten. So this is listed in here with, of course, the intro message from the authors of the report. Then we have another part which is focused on training. Yes, the Lithuania's talent pool is one of the most educated in the EU. Despite this fact, or perhaps because of it, employees are highly motivated to continue learning and expanding their skills. This is the intro given by Salvatore Simbula, site leader at Booking.com Lithuania. So this gentleman is here giving an intro to this section, and what we can find out in here. We can find out the list, the share of centers by training provided. So soft skills, for example, are trained within 77% of the centers, managerial coaching in 72% and language training in 57%. There are more of them, but as usual I have given you the first three from that list. Then we can find out in here as well that 92% of GBS centers provide training, nearly every one of them, which is great. Okay, then we have the section about the education level. I will not go through that right now, you can find it out on your own in the report, but this section also is in here and shows, for example, the share of employees by highest level of education, starting from the secondary school going to vocational schools, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and ending on doctoral degree. So you have that in this report as well. And then we have a section which is describing the cooperation with educational institutions. 70% of GBS centers are working together with universities. And in the report, there is a short description of each of the 7 main universities present in Lithuania, starting from Kaunas, then going through Vilnius, and the others. So you have that listed in here, so you can see what kind of universities are present in Lithuania. And from the GBS perspective, this is very, very important, because majority of the employees of this sector actually come directly to work from their schools, their universities. Let's go further. So we can also find here the section about the diversity and social responsibility, and two very important numbers about the diversity. First in the EU. Yes, Lithuania is first in the EU. And in what? In the total labor force, which is diversity between women and men. 50%, exactly half of employees are women, half of employees are men. And another number, 57% of scientists are engineers, are women. Yes, 57%, very nice number. Okay, then let's go to the additional information. This is already the ending section of the report, but very, very important. Why? Because it describes the wages and the wage growth. We can notice, for example, that in 2019 the growth of the wages was on the level of 5.5%. This is for non-IT positions, and 6% on the IT positions, but the projection for 2020 is lower, and it shows that this year should finish on the level of 5.1% for non-IT positions and 5.9% for IT positions. But here is very nice section, again yellow. You have here, I think this is about 30 different roles in different departments, and you can see here the data which shows the range, the salary range, total costs in euro, and you can see data presented in minimum, maximum, and average, divided for two cities. One of them is Vilnius, the other one is Kaunas. I will give you examples of three of them. Let's start from the very basic. So junior accountant in FNA. In Vilnius, minimum 1,096 euro, average 1,298 euro, maximum 1,502 euro. And the same position, but in Kaunas, is 1,007 euro as minimum, 1,209 as average, and 1,384 as maximum. Then let's go to, for example, senior specialist in HR processes. Here in Vilnius, minimum, average, and maximum are 2,146, 2,452, 2,727, and the same in Kaunas, 1,921, 2,174, and 2,428. So there is a difference, and it is a difference on the level of 300 euro monthly. Okay, so the last one, let's take something interesting. Team leader in IT. Team leader in IT. In Vilnius, such person can get 4,231 euro as minimum and 5,679 as maximum. And in Kaunas, here it is similar, 4,069 as minimum and 5,553 as maximum. Okay, so as I said, there are 30 positions. You can read all of them. Those are junior, specialist, and senior, and also team leaders positions. So all of that you can find in the report, and I encourage you to go through that and compare it, for example, to the data from your own country. Then we have also a section about the real estate, and there are presented some examples of buildings in Vilnius and in Kaunas. But this, what is important, is the average cost of A-class buildings, for example. So the rent fee is 15.5 euro per square meter in Vilnius and 13 euro per square meter in Kaunas. There are more details in the report covered as well. And the last but not least, the end of the report is a section named Work in Lithuania. And the Work in Lithuania program was set up in 2018 to help deliver the best talent to the growing number of international and domestic business operating in Lithuania. So this is described in here, and we can see, for example, the list of top 10 countries by Work in Lithuania platform visitors. So you know who is the most frequent visitor? It is Ukrainians who do that. And where is Poland? Poland is on the second place, equally to United Kingdom. Whoa, this is interesting. Okay, so and that's it, I would say. This is the end of the report. Yes, there are some additional conclusions in this section, and there are also, of course, the contact details of the business services and ICT team of Invest Lithuania, with Lais Vismakulis on the opening that list, but also there are other people who are supporting the investors from that industry. Okay, so this is it. How many pages? One more time, 48 pages, very interesting, and I truly encourage you to download your own copy. I will leave you the link in the description of the podcast, so just go and read it. This is really, really valuable and up-to-date information. I guess it is good for any of us who is interested in the global growth and the global presence of the GBS centers. That's it for what I had for you for today. So sorry for some of the delays within my speech, because as I said, I was reading it through while talking to you. So I hope you don't mind it very much. If you like what I am telling you within this podcast, then please subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube and any of the podcast platform which you are using. And I hope this, what I deliver to you from time to time, is also valuable for you and for your own business. If you need to get some more details about either this report or some other facts related to GBS industry, especially in Poland and in Europe, feel free to contact me, and I'm really happy to have a chat with you about some of those areas. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.